Kyrie's work ethic and absolute dedication to his craft is cut from a different cloth of greats. I know it. I lived it. I see it. Did he throw shade? What you think, man? What you think, Rick?
Haven't I heard this? Haven't I heard this before? I feel like I've heard this comment before. I think I heard it right after the trade of Luka Dončić to the Los Angeles Lakers.
So you think he's throwing shade at Luka?
Yeah, absolutely. This is still adjudicating the trade. This is still explaining why they made the trade. That because Kyrie Irving carries the principles and the approach that they believe in, and Luka Dončić did not. And they didn't say Luka's in this, but they didn't have to, because it sounds exactly like the things that they were saying that were the reason why they didn't keep Luka and why they went and got Anthony Davis. They said these exact same things about Anthony Davis.
So yes. why keep, like, I don't know, being petty? Like, Luka's gone. It's 3 weeks. He's gone. Like, leave him alone. Well, like, you decided
he's not going to be gone for a long time.
But you decided to move on from him and not give him that $350 million after he smoked some hookah and drank some beer and got you to the NBA final. You decided, right, Paul? Now, all of a sudden, you keep on doing him like that. Now, if he goes on and wins an NBA title, you really going to get buried.
They keep getting for having made the deal.
But that's not Luka's fault. Luka was chilling at home. He didn't know it was coming.
That's not for Luka. It's not to take a hit. It's not to take a shot at Luka. It's to tell everybody else, this is something you didn't know about Luka. And this is what we know about Kyrie and AD. And that's why we chose these guys versus this guy.
But you taking a shot at Luka because you don't even need to say all of that. You don't need to go into, I know what it looks like. I've seen it before. Think about that, though, Paul. I know what it looks like. I've seen it before. I've lived it. I've been around it. I've been around Kobe. Like, you don't need, because like you said, Rick, you did that after the trade. Yeah, you didn't already use that one.
Let me remind you of my resume.
You don't need to do that. Leave Nico. Leave Luka alone. He's doing just fine with us here in Los Angeles, Paul.
Yeah, I agree. I think, the more and more I think about it, it was like, hey, the way Luka had like a hand grip on the team, it was something they couldn't change. And it was just like definitely a shot at him because of them trying to justify, hey, we're going to go in the direction of Kyrie because his influence can flow through the team a little bit different than Luka's can. And I think we have a better chance at winning if we have a guy like that, more so than a guy who had the stranglehold on the team that took you to the finals. I mean, what more do you want? They're saying, most of the time when you're on a team and you players, the best player on the team, other guys watch you. They watch your habits. And they're like, well, if he's not getting shots, then, I probably don't have to get no shots either. Or if he's not lifting, then maybe I ain't got to lift either. So, and saying that, when he says, I seen Kobe, and you see what that brought them. I've seen, who else? Jordan. I've seen all that. He's saying maybe Kyrie can kind of influx his personality amongst the team to where we can grow into that. So
is that what
I don't know if this is any other way.
Is that really what he's saying? Because Kyrie was there with Luka. He was already doing that thing.
Luka's the guy.
But Kyrie was running the show.
No. That's Luka's.
It was Luka's team. It was Luka's team. But you could tell that they was following Kyrie.
You know what? You can
tell.
No. You can tell that Kyrie was appreciated by and respected by his teammates, that he made his presence felt in that locker room.
100%.
And I would say that that's
100%.
part of the reason why they felt comfortable making this trade. And why, all the talk about Kyrie's, well, maybe he's going to leave. I think Kyrie appreciates the fact that Dallas recognized that in him and said, you know what, you can be our cornerstone. We believe in you, not only your talent, but how you do things. And we want to allow that to flourish. I believe that's the shift that has Kyrie loving Dallas.
All the greats of all time did it their way.
Yeah.
And Luka's going to do it his way.
Yep.
That doesn't take it away just because you don't see him doing extra sprints or doing these things. He's still right now one of the top 3 or 4 players on the planet. Every year we talk about him being in the MVP race. He just led a freaking fifth. Was that a 5th seed last year from what I remember?
Yeah,
the Dallas Mavericks were a fifth seed. He dragged a fifth seed to the NBA Finals, and they had no business being there.
Because you remember early on, Kyrie
so
wasn't
that doesn't
playing
say
that great.
something. What does? You got something to build on when you got a player of that magnitude doing that. Last time I checked, and I love Kyrie, Kyrie has never been able to do that. Kyrie has always been great as a second fiddle to LeBron. When he was in Boston, they couldn't get it done. When he was alone in Cleveland, they couldn't even make it to the playoffs. And being with Luka as a second fiddle got him back to the finals. So I don't know on which world did you think letting him be the lead, because we already know Anthony Davis did not want to be the lead in L.A.
Yeah.
Thought that he can lead this team to a finals as the number one guy. I just don't know.
But was he really going to be the number one?
It's just mind-blowing.
Was AD really going to be the number one?
No, it was going to be Kyrie, and Kyrie with a number two like AD, with everything else that they have, was going to be enough. I will say this. This is what I'm really interested in seeing, is the fact that despite Luka Dončić, all-time everything, leaves, and a lot of times, and Paul can probably speak to this, sometimes you lose a player of that magnitude, and the rest of the team goes like, what are we doing here? This Dallas Mavericks team has played as hard and together. They don't look like a team that had the Jenga piece pulled out on them. They look, in some ways, like they've been liberated, and I say that only because there was a lot of talk over the years that you love what Luka does for a team. And I heard the same things about Kobe at various points. But he could be difficult to play with because he dominated the ball. And guys struggle to fit in around that, right? And what happens is, if a guy can take you there, you put up with all that as a complimentary
Kobe
player.
had five rings, right?
Yes.
He had 5 rings doing just that, and Luka drug a 5th seed to the finals doing just that.
But
why are you complaining?
Kobe didn't quite do it that way. He didn't bring the ball up, put him in the offense, pick and roll, re-pick and roll, dribble the air out the ball.
And he did.
He just
when he got it, but when he got it, though, he wasn't giving it back.
But here's the other thing. Kobe, without question, was your hardest worker.
Yes.
Well, that's the missing element here.
But like Paul said, everybody does it different, though.
To win a championship, what I have seen is your best player has to be your hardest worker.
And that may be true. That may be true.
That's not true.
I said it may be.
I mean, Kobe was the hardest worker, and Shaq definitely was the best player then. Okay, can't argue about that.
Early on.
But I mean, all the time he was there.
But he won.
But Paul also say that's not true, because he wasn't the hardest worker for Boston.
Yes, I was.
And he won the MVP and won the championship. And he wasn't the hardest worker.
I was up there. For sure, I was up there.
He was in there.
I was in there.
Trust me. He was like, out of 6, he was 6.
No, out of 6, I was like...
You opened a can of worms with the Shaq-Kobe thing.
No, but like if we said Kobe was the hardest worker, but Shaq was the best player.
At that time.
Yes,
I get it.
Doubt.
Let's move on to something more fun to talk about, like my Los Angeles Lakers. Luka Dončić has been incredible so far, actually had a historical performance in the Lakers win over the Pelicans. Luka joined the great Jerry West, Magic Johnson, and LeBron James as the only Lakers to score 30 points and have 15-plus assists in a single game. I was sitting around trying to think. I'm like, should have been some more, but I guess not, right? I was starting to, I'm like, I know Magic would do it. And I even thought about Nick Van Exel for a minute. I said, he had to have a 30 and a 15, but I guess he must have came up short a little bit. So, Paul, has Luka already exceeded expectations as a Laker?
Absolutely. I mean, everybody's going to look at the numbers and say one thing, but I didn't expect the Lakers. Because the one thing he did do, he came and uplifted LeBron. Like, LeBron looks different. The Lakers team looks different. They're playing their best basketball of the season right now since Luka got there. So, in saying that, sometimes it's not all about the numbers. It's how do you influence winning? How do you influence a culture? How do you influence just everything around the belief? Like, they went from a team that would have been happy making the playoffs now because of Luka. They feel like they can win a championship. Yeah. And that belief wasn't there before he got there. Yeah, he may be shooting 30% or this percentage, but The expectations I had was it's going to take a while for him to fit in with LeBron. They may lose some games. And actually, I didn't think they would fit. And actually, I thought, hey, this is a move for the future. When in all actuality, this is a move for right now. And I didn't see that coming.
That's what that's what I told you.
I didn't see that coming.
I said it's the move right now because LeBron James, we just talked about it, 22 seasons, 40 years old. He knows how to get out the way when it's a great player like a Luka.
Well,
he
never
knows
had this.
I understand that, but at that age, he knows
now.
I can slow down, I can still get what I need to get, and I don't have to use all my energy in the fourth quarter.
He's playing a different game.
That's what I'm saying. He's playing a different game.
He's going more into like a scorer mode now. He's a stretch four scorer.
But he knew
you don't have to initiate offense and get 10 assists.
But you can do that. But he's smart, man. When you get older up at age like that, but you can still go. You know, okay, well, now I finally got a player that I could now pull my foot off the gas pedal and then put it on again in the fourth quarter.
It comes down, this is why he kept trying to hand it to Anthony Davis. Because he knew if I'm our best player and I'm the guy that has to do everything, we're not going to win a championship. I may still be good. I may still be bordering on great. Against all these young cats, if I'm the one who has to be the driving force behind it, we're not going to get there. So, AD, can you be the driving force? And AD never quite took that mantle. I think that what you're seeing now is you got a guy in Luka Dončić who's like, you don't have to ask him to take the mantle. He assumes it. And you see the way they're playing now. It's what I think LeBron knows that he needed at this point in his career all along. And now he has a guy who is doing it. And I don't want to discount also the fact that you got like Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah.
You added him to the equation. Jared Vanderbilt is
healthy.
Like they got pieces now that are involved that weren't there prior.
Could I ask you a question before we move along?
Sure.
If Luka's on this team, Paul and Rick, when we play Denver in the finals, do we go to the NBA finals?
In the conference finals?
In the conference finals. Do we go to the NBA finals? If he's on the team, two years ago. The reason I say that is because LeBron ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Does that happen if Luka's on the team?
It's very well a possibility because Luka has the ability now versus Denver to cancel out Joker. We can say, all right, Joker's going to give us, 30, 15, and 12?
Yeah.
Well, Luka can do that and cancel him out. Now your best player, who's your second best player, Jamal Murray? Well, LeBron's going to outplay him. Now it just comes down to these other role players.
I think the big
AR and Rui and
Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves, yeah.
The matchup that's tricky is the fact that I think the Lakers' weakness right now still is if you have dribble penetration. You can hunt matchups, and you can get inside, and now the defense has got to rotate.
Yes.
You're going to expose them a little bit.
Yes.
Denver really doesn't have that. Jamal Murray's not quite that. So I think that there are things that they can do to
that's
play
actually
different.
turned into a good matchup for the Lakers now. Whereas
but we actually, but you got to think about what I said. We had AD, too. Remember? At that time.
And?
No, but I'm saying we had AD as our rim protector, whatever the case would have been.
Yeah.
We had him, so I think...
And that wasn't enough.
Yeah, but Luka just brings something a little bit different, I think, than Anthony Davis. I don't know what it is.
No. I'm saying that in this Lakers
unit
iteration, is built better to knock off the Denver Nuggets than the previous one.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.